You may like her and stay by her side, but you absolutely must not let her like you. By an unexpected twist of fate, I transmigrated into a world where women reign supreme. Here the concepts of men and women are completely reversed. Women are responsible for earning money to support the family. Men are responsible for being husbands, raising children, and looking beautiful as flowers. Beautiful as flowers. The moment I arrived here, I originally intended to strive to become a self-reliant and strong man. Who would have thought that because of my excessively outstanding appearance, I would be relentlessly pursued by a beautiful female CEO who forced me to eat soft rice? I had no choice but to reject her again and again. Who knew she would turn embarrassment into anger, and directly transform into a Yandra imprisoning me? The alarm clock rang. I woke up in a daze, opened my eyes to the dim room, reached out and turned off the alarm, got out of bed and stretched. My mind felt dizzy and heavy. I remembered that I had transmigrated to this world, and it had already been a few years. This place is called Blue Heart. It is a matriarchal world. Here men are responsible for being husbands, educating children, and looking beautiful as flowers. Beautiful as flowers. Women are responsible for earning money to support the family. They possess tremendous strength. One woman can single-handedly fight 5 men. But the thing that gives me the biggest headache is that this place is completely opposite to Earth. Women here fundamentally do not know pain, while men will suffer pain and exhaustion, and have to lie in bed for 3 days. This leaves me utterly speechless. I looked at the clock, then hurriedly ran to the bathroom to wash my face. Looked at myself in the mirror, long narrow phoenix eyes, short neat hair, clear and pure eyes, a high straight nose, alluring red lips. Even I could barely control myself. In the past I thought appearance meant nothing, but ever since transmigrating here, countless women have harbored impure intentions toward me. There was almost a time I was forcibly assaulted by a female student. Fortunately a female police officer saved me. From then on, whenever I went out I had to disguise myself as ugly, to avoid becoming their target. After all, the laws of China protect men very thoroughly. But there are always those who think if I die so be it. 5 years of blood for profit. After finishing my ugly disguise, I looked at myself in the mirror, nodded in satisfaction, then went out to the bus stop. There weren't many people here. All of them were 996 workers. I was one of them. I live in the #1 great nation of Blue Heart, China. I am a lecturer at the best university in China, China Commerce Academy. Every student who comes here to study is either rich or noble. All are daughters of major merchants. I was originally an outstanding student of this school, once even the campus belle. After graduating I chose to stay and become a lecturer. To avoid trouble I have deliberately disguised myself as ugly these past few years. After a long time, everyone gradually forgot about this once famous campus belle Sue. Because it was rush hour and traffic was jammed, the bus I took was stuck for half an hour. By the time I reached the school gate the class bell had already rung. Today is the first class of the new semester. Being late is not allowed. I hurriedly ran inside. The female security guard saw me and warmly said, "Little Sue, why are you in such a rush?" As she spoke she opened the iron gate for me. I thanked her and quickly ran toward the teaching building. At the elevator door I frantically pressed the 10th floor. Being late on the first day of school would be bad. If the principal found out my salary would be docked. The elevator reached the 10th floor and the moment the doors opened I rushed out. Ran straight into the classroom. The students inside had already arrived. I entered feeling a little embarrassed. Quickly walked up to the podium, put down my finance textbook and picked up the microphone. "Hello everyone, I am your homeroom teacher Sulak." I wrote the 2 characters Sulak on the blackboard, turned around and smiled saying, "You can call me Teacher Sue. Or you can call me Brother Sulak. I'm not much older than all of you." As soon as I finished speaking, the whole class erupted in excitement. I heard the students whispering, "Oh my God, such a young and handsome teacher. Dad finally doesn't have to worry about me dropping out anymore. Pinch me to see if I'm dreaming." No wonder the students were shocked. A young and beautiful lecturer like me is truly too rare. The sky gradually darkened. I finished my busy work. Teaching at China Commerce Academy is more tiring than I imagined, but the students respect me quite a lot. For dinner I chose to buy takeout and bring it home. After all, it's not safe for a man to be out alone. This is no joke. The news often reports men being attacked. Blue Heart has a population of tens of billions. The male-to-female ratio is severely imbalanced. About 110, meaning 1 man for every 10 women. You could say that as long as you are a man, no matter how ugly, you will still be able to marry. At the familiar restaurant I ordered the usual family set, packed it up and quickly left. On the way home, I was thinking, tomorrow is the weekend, where should I go shopping with that guy Great Strength? Great Strength's real name is Wang Great Strength. He is a good friend I made after transmigrating. He is tall and mighty, all muscles, yet he loves putting on lipstick. Always calls me Lack Lack in a coquettish voice. Though that appearance gives me goosebumps. He is very loyal and always protects me. I remember one time, at school, someone jealous of my looks secretly took and sold nude photos of me. Fortunately, great strength stood up for me. Although he couldn't beat the other side, his support touched me deeply. From then on we became brothers. Suddenly a loud explosion pulled me from my thoughts. I looked toward the alley ahead. From there came sounds of fighting and cries for help. I hesitated for a moment, then walked over to see what was happening. In the alley, several women covered in blood panicked and ran toward me. The woman running at the front frantically shouted, "Save me! Hurry and call the police!" This scene scared me so much I almost thought I saw a ghost. Immediately after, from behind her rushed out a cold and stunning woman. With one slash she cut the throat of the woman begging for help. Then that woman collapsed convulsing. I only felt my stomach churning. Couldn't help but run to the side and vomit. How could I ever have witnessed such a horrific scene? Terrified, I backed out of the alley. In my blurred vision, the cold eyes of that woman swept toward me. At this time I was still in my ugly disguise. About 1.70 meters tall. Not extremely beautiful but still refined. I trembled and took a deep breath, trying to calm myself, silently praying in my heart, "Please don't point that knife at me." Shen Qingxue had almost reached her limit. She had been drugged and lost consciousness. The people just now were her enemies, sent to assassinate her. Unfortunately, they underestimated her strength. The side effects of the drug, combined with the pain from her wounds, made her unbearably sleepy. She knew that if she passed out here, she would very likely die here. If she didn't die tomorrow, she would be arrested by the police. The only way to resolve this situation was to have the man in front of her take her away. But she could not go to the hospital. Thinking of this, she decisively acted. It took me a long time to feel better. I looked up and discovered that woman was no longer beside the corpse. Instantly, cold sweat drenched my entire body. I wanted to slowly turn around, but Shen Qingxue's cold dagger had silently pressed against my throat. A chilling, stinging sensation came from my neck. My pupils instantly dilated. Fear rapidly spread through my heart. Her hot breath kept blowing against the back of my neck. The two of us were pressed tightly together. In this quiet alley, I could feel my heart pounding wildly. If I die here, I'll really cry myself to death. I only heard some noise. Curiosity got the better of me and I came to look. I thought if I couldn't win, I could at least run. Who knew that the moment I entered I would freeze? Then my stomach started churning and it was too late to escape. At this moment Shen Qingxue spoke, breaking the silence. "Right now I give you two choices. Live or die, you choose." Her icy voice reached my ears. My voice trembled as I stammered. You say if I can help, I will definitely agree. The first choice is to take me away. And you must not call the police or go to the hospital. Otherwise I will send you to meet the king of hell. What about the second choice? The second choice is you die here. Only the dead keep their mouths shut. She tightened the knife against my throat. A streak of blood flowed down. Of course I choose the first, are you kidding? This is even called a choice. I hope you don't play any tricks. Otherwise I have 10,000 ways to find you. Her voice grew softer and softer. The knife in her hand slowly slipped and fell to the ground. Shen Qingxue's entire body lost strength. Her eyes, heavy as if hanging 1,000 pounds, slowly closed. Having been hit with such a strong sedative yet lasting this long, was entirely supported by her willpower. Before passing out she seemed to see me anxiously calling her. She had never seen anyone show such deep worry for her. Then the full weight of her body collapsed onto me. I felt a heavy weight on my back and couldn't stand steady. Both of us fell down. "Oh heavens," I cried out. My face intimately kissed the ground. She was pressing down on me. 1.80 meters nearly crushed me to death. Looking at the corpse in front of me, I didn't dare think too much. Hurriedly carried her on my back. The moment I lifted her I already felt the strain. Her tall and sturdy frame, 1.80 meters and muscular. My small body really couldn't bear it. Luckily this place wasn't far from my home. If it weren't close I would have run away long ago. And she still said she would find me. Find me how? Carrying Shen Qingxue on my back, I grumbled as I walked. On the other side, inside the Lu Corporation building in the city, a woman was roaring at the people below her. The woman was named Lu Yu. She was the helmsman of the Lu Corporation. At this moment her heart was filled with fear. Her slightly chubby face was red with anger. She had prepared for today's plan for a very long time. Not only did she offer a piece of land worth 10 billion at a low price, but because of this matter, she gave the Shen Corporation a reason to suppress her company. The Shen Corporation in this world, once targeted by them, almost no one survives. The women below, looking at Lu Yu, who was on the verge of exploding, said, "President Lu, when she escaped she had already been hit with a strong sedative, and she was injured. This matter she must have been taken care of already." Hearing this, Lu Yu, her eyes coldly stared at the woman below. "You think Shen Qingxue is that easy to kill? Send more people. Those few just now have probably all been slaughtered by now." After giving her orders, Lu Yu tiredly sat down in her office chair. Now she could only hope that Shen Qingxue had been dealt with. Otherwise her only option would be to turn herself in. After all, only by doing so could she possibly snatch her life back from the hands of the Shen family. Back home I looked at Shen Qingxue lying on the bed. I have to say, her face is truly very beautiful, like flawless porcelain. But at this moment her complexion was pale. Seeing the blood on her hand, I knew she had lost too much blood. I took out the first aid kit from the living room. This was something I bought for emergencies. Inside were disinfectant gauze, anti-inflammatory medicine and the like. I helped Shinqingxue up from the bed, and began to remove her suit jacket. In this world, men cannot be guilty of rape. To use the words of this place, what is there to look at on your rotten body? I placed the suit jacket beside the bed. Looking at Shinqingxue's fair and smooth skin made me a little unsure where to look. Although in this matter the man is the one who suffers, it was still somewhat embarrassing. After finishing the treatment, I gently tucked Shinqingxue under the blanket, gave her my bedroom. Tonight I could only sleep on the sofa. Going out, my stomach was already growling with hunger. Only now did I remember I hadn't eaten dinner. Remembering that the takeout I bought had fallen in the alley. Now there were only a few eggs left. So I decided to make egg fried rice. After eating I went to the bathroom to shower. But I kept feeling uneasy, lacking a sense of security. Involuntarily looking toward the bedroom door. Only after confirming nothing was wrong did I relax. After showering and changing into loose sleepwear I sat on the sofa. The ugly makeup on my face from washing had completely disappeared. My stunningly beautiful face was slightly flushed, extremely alluring. The wide collar of my sleepwear slipped down to my collarbone. Looking like an enchanting concubine from ancient times who no longer wished to live. I picked up my phone and saw it was already 11 o'clock. Originally planned to go shopping tomorrow with Wong great strength, but looking at the situation I could only cancel. Every day is full of troubles. I stared blankly at the living room ceiling, remembering when I first transmigrated to this world. Seeing male students wearing skirts on the street and female students dressed masculinely, I even thought it was a prank. But after being sexually harassed several times, only then did I understand this was reality. Immediately went online to research information. Discovered that here when it comes to gender men are very weak. Pregnancy and childbirth are still done by women. But they feel nothing. All the symptoms. Only men experience them. When I learned this information my mind nearly exploded. Damn it, I haven't even enjoyed it once. And now I have to serve others. No way in hell. Men must be strong. Now 3 years have passed. I can't help but sigh at how fast time flies. The morning sun hung a faint ray of light, shining on Shinqingxue lying on the bed. Her long lashes trembled slightly. Slowly she opened her beautiful eyes and looked around, discovering she was in an unfamiliar room. The air was filled with a faint milky scent. Remembering that last night that man had carried her home alone, it must have been very difficult. Where is he? Did he run away? She looked around and only saw a few dolls. Did not see me. Sitting up she discovered she was only wearing underwear. Her wounds had been carefully bandaged. It was done by that small man. Shinqingxue got out of bed and walked to the door, opening it. The house layout was very simple and warm. 1 bedroom, 1 living room, enough for a single person. From the arrangement one could tell the owner lived alone. It seemed the bed I slept on was his. Shinqingxue walked into the living room, glanced at the kitchen and didn't see me, then walked to the sofa and saw my back. My back rose and fell with my breathing. Clearly still not awake. She slowly walked over. Thinking back to last night, though she said she would find him, that was only a threat and danger. She couldn't even remember his face. How could she find him? When she stood in front of me she was instantly stunned, staring fixedly at my face. Her mind went blank. She slowly drew closer. Thinking back to last night, though she said she would find him, it was only a threat. She couldn't even remember his appearance. How could she find him when he was right in front of her? She immediately held her breath, staring fixedly at my face, her mind blank. Though she had lived more than 20 years, seen no small number of men, none could compare to the one before her. I lay on the sofa like a little cat, wearing loose oversized sleepwear. The collar slipped down, revealing my collarbone. She inadvertently glanced. The scenery between my collarbones made her heart race. One must know that in this world women, just seeing a man's arm is enough to cause a reaction, let alone such a perfect man before her. In this kind of scene, Shinqingxue instantly felt her whole body grow hot. Damn it, she roared in her heart. Thank goodness no one else saw. Otherwise she would really die of embarrassment. Shinqingxue, you actually reacted to someone's face. Truly lowly. She scolded herself 10,000 times in her heart. Only after a long time did she snap out of it. At this point her face was already flushed red. Her eyes drifted unfocused, occasionally sneaking glances at me. My lashes fluttered. Then slowly I opened my eyes. Seeing Shinqingxue standing in front of me, I rubbed my eyes. Why are you up so early? Is your wound better? Shinqingxue was startled awake, quickly turned her head away, looking a little flustered. I looked at her stunned, my heart filled with doubt. Does she want to kill me to silence me? After all, last night I personally witnessed her crime scene. If that were true, it wouldn't be strange if she came now to finish me off. In a flash I jumped up and ran to the kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife and faced her, feeling a bit more confident. Seeing me holding a knife, Shinqingxue's face was full of confusion. I only looked at you a few times. Do you need to react so strongly? I saved you. And haven't called the police, what more do you want? I said indignantly. Shen Qingxue organized her thoughts and said, rest assured, I have no intention of killing to silence. Otherwise I would have done it while you were sleeping. I let out a sigh of relief, put down the knife, but still didn't quite trust her. Then what were you staring at me for just now? Shen Qingxue cleared her throat, slightly embarrassed. Anyway, I didn't mean that. Is your wound better? I pointed at her arm, asked with concern. Rest a few days and it should be fine. I nodded. Went to the balcony to get her suit jacket. Your jacket was torn last night. I already sewed it back for you. Shen Qingxue took the jacket. Seeing the stitches, a trace of warmth appeared. Alright, now that you're awake, hurry and leave. I'm about to become so poor I can't even open the pot. I even deliberately opened the fridge for her to see. Inside were only 3 lonely eggs. You usually only eat this. She frowned and asked. I smiled helplessly. What else can I do? She looked around my place. Lightly said, with your looks, surely many people pursue you. Just casually find a rich second-generation heiress, wouldn't that be better? I feel this way is very good. Alone, free and unrestrained. Moreover, I can support myself. I said disdainfully, then turned to wash my face. Before leaving, didn't forget to add, remember to put on clothes. Otherwise I'll report you for indecency. Shen Qingxue blushed and hurriedly went to change. A moment later, I brought out a simple plate of tomato scrambled eggs and egg drop soup. Came out and invited her. Hey, what's your name? Come eat. She sat down, glanced at the food, somewhat reluctantly picked up her chopsticks. I am Shen Qingxue. And you? I am Sulak. I said while devouring my food. Shen Qingxue silently repeated my name, as if calculating something in her heart. Suddenly she put down her chopsticks and looked at me. Seriously, said man. You have successfully caught my attention. I almost choked. Looked at her in horror. What did you say? I said, from now on you are my man. Shen Qingxue coldly declared. Big sis, please don't joke with me. What is this suddenly acting like a domineering CEO? You're teasing me, right? I looked at her strangely. Could she have hit her head last night? On Shen Qingxue's ice-cold face flashed a trace of displeasure. Her eyes looked at this idiot as if saying, what? What, you don't want to? Shen Qingxue lightly asked. Of course not. Living with a murderer. Who knows when you might be in a bad mood. And slash me too. I glanced at her again. Though she is very beautiful on the outside, wearing a straight suit that clearly cost a fortune. Clearly a rich person. But there's definitely something wrong with her brain. I feel there is some misunderstanding between us. I smiled and asked. Shen Qingxue did not answer my question. Instead said, little Lack, lend me your phone for a bit. Little Lack, I'll step on your mother, wait. I'd love to slap a huge footprint on her face. But I still obediently unlocked my phone and handed it to Shen Qingxue. Shen Qingxue took the phone and dialed a number. A moment later the call connected. From the other side came an anxious female voice. Hello. May I ask who this is? This is the private number of Jiang Shui. Not many people know her number. So seeing an unknown number she answered immediately. Jiang Shui is Shen Qingxue's secretary. Has followed her for 7 years. It's me, Jiang Shui. Shen Qingxue calmly said. Hearing the familiar voice, Jiang Shui immediately became excited. Ancestor Shen. Where are you right now? Are you alright? That New York bitch took advantage of our absence and drugged you. I'm fine, Shen Qingxue replied. Suddenly her expression turned cold. Regarding Lu Yu. You know what to do. Also, Shen Qingxue said, her eyes turning to me. Why is this bitch looking at me? Does she want me to leave? President Shen, do you need anything? I cautiously asked. What is the address here? Shen Qingxue asked. After I told Shen Qingxue the address. On the other side, Jiang Shui knew. Immediately said, will arrive in half an hour. Shen Qingxue hummed and hung up. Half an hour later there was a knock at the door. I got up to open it, looked up and immediately cursed. Only to see standing outside was a mature royal sister in a white blouse, hip-hugging skirt and black stockings. Probably 1.85 meters tall, hair tied high in a mature bun. Exquisite facial features. Wearing gold-rimmed glasses. Standing in front of her I looked like a child. Behind her were several fierce-looking female bodyguards, each around 1.90 meters, muscles bulging exaggeratedly. Most importantly, they were all wearing sunglasses. This is literally the mafia. At this moment Jiang Shui also saw me at the door. Immediately stared in shock. Oh my god, what kind of immortal beauty is this? Phoenix eyes, high nose. And those alluring little lips. Simply born to make people commit crimes. What made her even more restless was because I was wearing loose sleepwear. Jiang Shui unconsciously looked down. Her gaze passed through the collar and saw. This nosebleed-inducing scene directly broke her composure. Instantly her whole body grew hot. She bent over, covering her skirt. At this moment, looking at Jiang Shui, I was dumbfounded. Mature and rational as she seemed. The moment this royal sister saw me, she immediately. Jiang Shui saw my gaze. Instantly felt embarrassed to death. At this moment she wished she could find a hole to crawl into. She had seen so many men. Always believed in one principle. That men only affect the speed at which I draw my sword. Just never expected. Today with just one look, her composure was broken. At this moment Shen Qingxue also looked over, spoke up, "What are you all doing standing at the door?" Hearing this, Jiang Shui immediately felt like she saw her savior, said to me, "May I come in?" I also snapped out of it, stepped aside to let them in. It's just that as each one passed me, they all lowered their heads and covered their skirts. "What's that about?" Jiang Shui quickly walked to Shen Qingxue. Immediately said, "President Shen, it's great that you're alright. That New York woman used the land development rights to threaten people again." Shen Qingxue's expression didn't change, only lightly said, "My corporation, we've obtained the land development rights. Moreover, we can use this chance to crush her. Also bring her to me tonight. I want to entertain her properly." Jiang Shui adjusted her gold-rimmed glasses and said, "President Shen, rest assured, I already caught her last night. She's currently in the basement." As Shen Qingxue's secretary Jiang Shui, of course, was impeccable, when she learned that Shen Qingxue had obtained the land development rights, then was ambushed. She immediately knew it was the New York woman's doing, immediately led people to capture Lu Yu, and tortured her severely. Well done. Shen Qingxue was very satisfied with Jiang Shui. At this moment Jiang Shui leaned close to Shen Qingxue's ear, softly said, "President Shen, who is that man?" As she spoke she glanced at me. Shen Qingxue looked at me, who was bewildered, then said, "Him. He is my man." I hurriedly spoke up to interrupt President Shen. "Please wait a moment. When did I ever agree to be your man? What could it be you don't want to?" Confidence flashed in Shen Qingxue's eyes. "Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't. I opened my mouth before thinking. I finally understood. The woman in front of me is truly a domineering president. No wonder she is so strangely confident. Also no wonder. After all, she has both talent and beauty and lots of money. If this were a man in my previous life, he would certainly be this confident too. It's just that in this world, when it's a woman, I really can't handle it. This is a genuine rich beauty. Someone like her could indeed drive all the boys here crazy. But what does that have to do with me?" Hearing me refuse, Jiang Shui was instantly stunned. Oh my god, he actually refused President Shen. All these years, she had seen too many men who would use every means possible to pursue Shen Qingxue. But Shen Qingxue had never once glanced at them, never expected that this time the opportunity was placed right in front of me, and I refused without the slightest hesitation. What kind of divine man is this? Shen Qingxue also grew even more interested in me. In all these years I was the first to dare refuse her, if I hadn't seen her power, fine. But even her secretary had some insight. Could tell. Thinking of this, Shen Qingxue's eyes suddenly turned cold. As long as it's something she wants, there has never been anything she couldn't obtain. She looked at me and slowly said, "Give me a reason." "I'll step on your mother. Do I still need to give you a reason?" I really couldn't hold it in anymore. Never expected to meet such an extreme specimen. The important thing is I can't even beat her. Hearing my words, Shen Qingxue's beautiful face instantly frowned. At the same time, the several female bodyguards who had been standing quietly to the side immediately walked to my side, each in black suits and sunglasses, extremely oppressive. That scene made my eyelids twitch non-stop. Shen Qingxue looked at me with an icy expression. Her fingers tapped rhythmically on the table. "What did you just say?" "Say it again." Facing so many bodyguards, I forced an awkward smile. There's a saying, a good man doesn't strike a smiling person. No, President Shen. I mean, we've only known each other for less than a day. We're not very familiar yet. How about this? I see you and this big sister here. Surely still have things to do. After all important matters come first, you go handle your business. Do you think after hearing this conversation, you can still leave? Jiang Shui looked at me and said, "You're done for." Have you ever seen someone who doesn't listen to reason, but never one this unreasonable? Didn't you just come in and immediately declare ownership right there? Did I tell you to do that? At this point I was about to explode. What kind of tiger wolf words are these? In front of me or in my own home, speaking to me like this? You're good at arguing. I'm not watching the beauty debate contest anymore. Thinking that way. But I still kept smiling and said, "Anyway, last night I even saved your ancestor. Moreover, I'm just a weak man. You really have the heart to lay hands on me." As I spoke, my eyes swept over the bodyguards. The bodyguards looked at me. Seeing my aggrieved expression, their bodies instantly trembled. But they quickly steadied themselves again. Seeing this scene, Shen Qingxue angrily slammed the table. Her ice-cold face darkened. Everyone was also startled by the sound. Then they saw Shen Qingxue's face filled with obsession. Walking toward me, Shen Qingxue walked up to me, silently looked down at me, said nothing. After a long time, only then did Shen Qingxue open her mouth and say, "Do you really not want to be with me?" "President Shen, we've known each other less than a day. I'm used to living freely." So she didn't continue speaking. Shen Qingxue, being able to sit in this position, naturally understood. Shen Qingxue nodded and said fine, then led the group of people away. From the window I watched her get into the car, then let out a huge sigh of relief. Thinking in my heart, finally sent away this harbinger of trouble. I sat on the sofa and took out my phone. On Baidu searched the name Shen Qingxue. Found a lot of information about her. Shen Qingxue, CEO and helmsman of the Shen Corporation. A leading real estate conglomerate and financial tycoon. At 16 she already revealed investment talent. At 20 officially became president. From then on the Shen Corporation soared like a rocket. This made me look at her differently, feeling that she is decisive in her work. Not as simple as the introduction suggested. Back at the company, Shen Qingxue told Jiang Shui to investigate my information, while she herself sat in her office chair, looking a little restless. Not long after, Jiang Shui came in holding the files, detailed down to my past, ex-girlfriends, even the fact I disguised myself as ugly, everything was known. I am currently a teacher at China Commerce Academy, because of outstanding grades after graduation directly stayed at the school. Also because my mother had a car accident and is hospitalized, father ran away. Currently relying entirely on me alone to support the family. The files show I am a clean and self-loving person. The only thing that surprised Shen Qingxue was that I am the homeroom teacher of her younger sister. Shen Qingxue put down the files. Recalling my behavior, couldn't help but smile. With that appearance he can still be a teacher. She had already imagined the scene of me teaching class. Jiang Shui asked President Shen, how should we handle Lu Yu? Shen Qingxue thought for a moment. Originally planned to handle it personally, but currently in a bad mood. This matter is handed to you. Make it clean. Shen Qingxue waved her hand and said go. President Shen. Jiang Shui replied and left. The office fell silent. Shen Qingxue's mood was restless, her mind full of the scene of me rejecting her. Truthfully, the first man to reject her was me. At this moment her phone rang, displaying her mother Shen Bai calling. Shen Qingxue looked at the number and her head nearly exploded. Mom is definitely urging marriage again. She rubbed her temples. Answered the call. From the earpiece came a calm female voice. Qingxue, I heard you were ambushed last night. Shen Qingxue lightly replied. She didn't want to say much to her mother. Her mother's methods have always been extreme. On the other end of the phone, Shen Bai sat in the grand hall of a luxurious villa. Over 50 years old but looking only a little over 30. Qingxue, it's not that mom is nagging you. I already told you long ago to make a move on Lu Yu. If you had listened to mom there wouldn't be so much trouble. Shen Qingxue helplessly said, Mom, I know my limits. Don't worry. Facing her mother's nagging, she truly feared being lectured every day. Fine, mom, won't say more. But you're 26 already. It's time to get married. Shen Bai carried dissatisfaction. Shen Qingxue had a headache and replied, Mom, don't interfere in this. For now I have no such plans. What do you mean no plans? If you don't marry, see how mom deals with you. Mom found a candidate for you. Shen Bai looked satisfied at the file in her hand and said, anything else? If not, I'm hanging up. Shen Qingxue's face was full of impatience. Mom is telling you. If you don't grasp this man. Before Shen Bai could finish, Shen Qingxue decisively hung up. Every day only knows how to urge, not like dad at all. Thinking of dad, Shen Qingxue was filled with hatred toward Shen Bai. Mom is a good mother, but not a good wife. In the Shen Bai villa, hearing the hang-up tone, she was instantly furious. This daughter is becoming more and more disobedient. She looked at my file, the more she looked the more she liked it. No background. Mother seriously ill. Stunning appearance. This man has absolutely no power to resist. If he and my daughter are together, she absolutely doesn't need to worry about him running away. Shen Bai put down the file, got up and went to the kitchen carrying a bowl, emitting a rich fragrant soup. Though I don't know exactly what soup, but from the smell, the medicinal ingredients in this soup are extremely precious. She carried the soup up to the 3rd floor, arrived in front of a sturdy iron door. The door was made of titanium alloy. Even cannon fire would find it hard to open. On top were 10 huge titanium locks. Unless you have the correct key, otherwise it cannot be opened. With a series of unlocking sounds, the 10 huge titanium locks were opened one by one. Shen Bai pushed open the iron door. What met the eye was a spacious bedroom. The room was pitch black. Only a small desk lamp gave off weak light. Thanks to the light, one could see on the bed lay a middle-aged man, eyes lifeless, looking only a little over 30. He is Shen Qingxue's father, the husband Yi Jun, imprisoned by Shen Bai for many years. Hearing the door open, Yi Jun turned his head. Seeing Shen Bai carrying soup, his body involuntarily trembled, then turned his head away, no longer looking at her. Shen Bai closed the iron door, slowly walked to Yi Jun's side, placed the bowl of soup down and gently said, Jun dear, get up and drink some soup. But the person on the bed seemed not to hear, lay motionless. Shen Bai tightly furrowed her brows, but still gently said, Jun dear, you haven't eaten all day. Be good, get up and eat a little, okay? She reached out wanting to caress his face, but just as she was about to touch, Yi Jun suddenly raised his hand and slapped her hand away, turned his body away. I'll say it again. You want me to get up and eat? Shen Bai shouted loudly, but Yi Jun still didn't respond. His body slightly trembled but did not obey. Shen Bai suddenly grabbed both his shoulders, used force to turn him over. Her hand strength was enormous. Yijun's shoulders ached sharply. He forcefully pushed Shinvai. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move her at all. Instead, because of his struggling, Shinvi's hands gripped even tighter. Be good, Shinvai growled, but Yijun still swung his fists. Fists rained down on her chest like rain. Shinvai seemed to feel nothing. She tightly hugged Yijun, letting his fists continuously land on her back. Until he was exhausted, his hands weakly dropped. Only then did Shinvai slightly loosen June. Dear, be good, okay? You haven't eaten all day. I'm really afraid you'll leave me. Don't leave me, okay? Shinvi's voice was low and pleading. If outsiders saw this scene, they would surely be shocked. Who could imagine Shinvai, the founder of the Shin Corporation, the leader of the underworld, would speak to someone in this tone? And she still loves Yijun to this day, but in such a twisted way. Yijun said nothing, only looked at Shinvai. The person before him was like a stranger, since she began imprisoning him. It had been more than 20 years. Every day passed in torment. Though he had tried to escape many times, each time he was caught again, and had to endure physical and mental torture. He remembered one time he successfully escaped for a full 3 years. He made friends, had his own love, but Shinvai appeared once more. Everything changed. He and his lover were about to have a family, but when Shinvai brought him back, she beat his lover to death right in front of him. And he was brought back to this sunless place, both legs broken. Shinvai came every day to declare her love for him. Several times he tried to commit suicide but was saved by Shinvai, and told him she was pregnant with his child. This softened his heart, not wanting the child to be born without a father. So to this day he still lives under Shinvi's shadow. Looking at the bowl of soup on the table, Yijun slowly said, as long as I drink that bowl of soup, can you grant me one request? Shinvai firmly replied, say it. As long as I can do it. Yijun pleaded, Avai, please let me go. Shinvai without hesitation refused. No. Anything else is fine. Only this is not. He painfully begged, Avai, I really am about to collapse. Every day in this dark room, Shinvai has imprisoned him for more than 20 years. Every day he struggles in darkness. Long ago he tried many times to escape. Each time caught again he paid a terrible price. Seeing his despair, Shinvi's eyes turned red, but her love remained twisted. She tightly hugged him, unwilling to let go. June dear, why do you want to leave me? I clearly love you so much. Shinvai gently caressed his face. We really are not suitable. Your love makes me suffocate. The moment you hurt that person we were already over. Yijun painfully closed his eyes and said, what? I peeled chestnuts for Yijun. So many years and you still can't forget that bitch. Shinvi's face darkened terrifyingly. Looking at his pain, she still didn't let go. All these years, everything I gave you, you don't feel it at all. Shinvai, you simply don't care about my feelings. You are a cold-blooded demon. Even if I die I won't love you. You only need to stay by my side. You can only be mine. I believe that given enough time feelings will grow. Shinvai said as she began removing his clothes. What are you doing? Stop it at once. You bastard. Yijun struggled and resisted, but couldn't move. Seeing this, Shinvai became even more violently forceful. I went to Light Hospital. This hospital has the most advanced medical equipment, but the costs are exorbitant. Many people cannot afford it. I did not disguise myself as ugly. On the way I felt many probing gazes on me. Very uncomfortable. At the payment counter, I went to pay for room 203. The male student behind the counter lazily took the bill, glanced at it and said 28,530 yuan. So expensive. After paying I went to the observation room. Saw my mother covered in all kinds of tubes, lying weakly in the ICU bed. Even though she is not my biological mother, I still have deep feelings for her. Seeing this scene hurt my heart greatly. At this moment head of department Zhou Qing came over. He is my mother's attending physician. The moment I saw him my face darkened. He has always harbored impure intentions toward me. Su Ruo coming to visit mom again. Zhou Qing approached me. How is my mom? My voice turned cold. Zhou Qing pretended to look troubled. Your mother's condition is not ideal. If no surgery, I'm afraid. Actually, after the car accident, my mother was found to have late-stage brain cancer. Needs surgery. But I temporarily cannot afford the high medical costs. Have been delaying. Seeing me silent, Zhou Qing continued, if you temporarily don't have enough money, I can advance the costs. It's just that his eyes scanned my body, making me feel disgusted. Thank you, Dr. Zhou. I can solve it myself. I smiled and said, Sulak, I know you are strong-willed, but your mother's condition is urgent. Zhou Qing tried hard to persuade. I know my own limits in this matter. No need for you to worry. I coldly cut him off, knowing his intentions. If I were really trampled by him, living would be worse than death. Seeing my firm attitude, Zhou Qing directly threatened. Without my help, how long can your mother live? You think with only 20,000 a month? If not for my support, you would have long been unable to pay the medical fees. I coldly laughed. Head Zhou, I see clearly what calculations you have in your heart. You should think carefully. If you choose to follow me, I can bear all of your mother's medical expenses. Her illness is not a big problem for me. His words made me hesitate. My mother's condition is critical. Without money I really can't hold on much longer, but being used by him. Looking at my mother my heart felt like it was being cut by knives. Wait, a voice interrupted my words. I turned my head and saw a mature woman exuding an elegant aura, standing behind me. Several tall female bodyguards surrounded her, appearing solemn and majestic. May I ask who you are? Zhou Qing asked unhappily. Zhou Qing was currently very annoyed. He could feel, if not for this woman suddenly appearing, just now I might have agreed to him. The middle-aged woman did not answer, but slowly walked in front of me, observed me up close, discovering I was even more beautiful than in photos. Good. Shenbai observed me and couldn't help exclaiming. I was stared at until goosebumps rose. This woman the moment she arrived acted like a love-struck fool, continuously examining me, and the bodyguards behind her. Why does this feeling seem a bit familiar? Looking at Shenbai examining me, I interrupted and asked, may I ask who you are? Wen Yan smiled and explained. Sorry, Teacher Su forgot to introduce myself. I am the mother of Shen Yuchu. Shenbai. Hearing this name Shenbai, Zhou Qing's pupils instantly dilated. He of course had heard the name Shenbai, but had never met the real person. Hearing her announce her identity, Zhou Qing still had some doubt, but looking at her presence, she was already someone he could not afford to provoke. Shen Yuchu, I recalled a bit. There really is a female student in class named Shen Yuchu. But I remember, Shen Yuchu's personality seems a bit abnormal. So you are Shen Yuchu's mother. May I ask what business you have with me? I smiled and asked, my body quietly pulling some distance from this tall woman. Shenbai noticed my subtle change, but didn't mind, as if not noticing smiled and said, originally I only came to the hospital to visit an old friend. Unexpectedly saw Teacher Su, so came over to see what happened. Hearing Shenbai's explanation, I understood the reason. As for her examining me when she arrived, probably to confirm whether I was indeed her daughter's homeroom teacher. After all, when I go to work I always disguise myself as ugly, though we met at the school opening, but in the end still too different from now. Thinking of this I understood and replied nothing, just handling some personal matters. So that's how it is? Then I won't disturb Teacher Su? Shenbai asked with some surprise. It's not a big deal, I've already finished handling it. By the way, Mother Shen, did you need me for something? Hearing my words, Shenbai's face showed worry, then slowly opened her mouth and said, actually it's like this. Teacher Su, my daughter recently has had some issues at school. I am very worried about her situation. I hope to exchange with teacher, and hear teacher's opinion. I wonder if teacher has time now. Hearing my words, Shenbai's face showed worry, then slowly opened her mouth and said, actually it's like this. Teacher Su, my daughter recently has had some issues at school. I am very worried about her situation. I hope to exchange with teacher, and hear teacher's opinion. I wonder if teacher has time now. This made me slightly hesitate. Also, Teacher Su, if you don't mind I can drive you home. After all it's so late. A teacher going home alone is a bit unsafe. As she spoke she even glanced at Zhou Qing. Alright, I hesitated for a moment but still agreed. After all the medical fees had already been paid, I had also visited the person. As for Zhou Qing, his intentions toward me were as clear as day. If I followed him, it would be worse than letting me become Shen Qingsu's boyfriend. Moreover, I had decided to use live streaming to make money, to achieve my goals. Before transmigrating, I already had a certain platform, with 1 million fans. Moreover, now I also have stunning beauty. Considering the trend of popular men in this world, my fans would only increase. Let's go, Teacher Su. Shenbai smiled and said to me. The moment Shenbai successfully led me away, the previously silent Zhou Qing suddenly spoke up and called, Su Ruo, you should think carefully. Are you sure you want to follow her? Hearing Zhou Qing's threatening tone, I ignored him and turned to leave. Seeing me completely disregard him, Zhou Qing was furious. His face darkened to the extreme, as if about to drip water. I sought favors everywhere for you, begged for the best medical equipment for your mother, found ways every day to reduce or waive your mother's medical fees. But this kid doesn't understand me at all. Isn't it just lusting after beauty a little? How much have I paid for you, and lost so miserably? Fine Sulak. There will come a day when you beg me. Zhou Qing stared at my departing back, his heart filled with resentment, thinking to himself, kid, don't you like pretending? Wait until your mother can't get good medical equipment. Wait until you need me. Then I will enjoy you properly. Shenbai coldly glanced at him, thinking in her heart if this person wasn't still useful, she would have long sent him to meet the king of hell. How dare he harbor evil intentions toward her son-in-law? Is he worthy? Shenbai withdrew her gaze from behind, made a gesture. 2 female bodyguards understood her meaning, silently left everyone's sight. When we arrived at the parking lot, everyone's gaze was attracted by an extended version car. Several luxury cars were parked around. This scene made me gasp in shock. I knew Shenbai was very rich, but I never expected Shenbai's assets to be so enormous. The existence of these luxury cars was undoubtedly important proof of her wealth. One must know her extended version car was equipped with a series of advanced safety technologies, such as adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, etc., providing higher-level safety protection. This alone made this luxury car worth no small amount, let alone the series of functions. Most importantly, this is a custom luxury car. Custom. Even with money you can't buy it. I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Shenbai looked at my sparkling eyes. For some reason felt a bit adorable. She had high confidence in observing others' eyes. Could feel that in my eyes there was only pure amazement and curiosity. Different from the men she had met. Their eyes were all different. Immediately Shenbai looked at me more and more fondly. If her daughter could marry such a man, she would wake up laughing even in dreams. But her daughter, thinking of this, Shenbai sighed. She knew in her heart, though her daughter had outstanding qualities, she lacked decisiveness and determination. If I had no feelings for her, all efforts might be in vain. If you don't like me, so what? As long as you are by my side, I don't care about anything else. Then wouldn't you be mine alone? Thinking of this, Shenbai looked at me and smiled, saying, Teacher Su, I booked a restaurant. Let's eat dinner and then I'll take you home. Moreover, my daughter is also there. We can talk about the specific situation then. I looked at Shenbai with some doubt, feeling she was a bit abnormal, as if hiding some intention. But looking at her appearance I couldn't see any clues. Completely the appearance of a mother worried for her daughter. This was fine. I hesitated but finally agreed. It seems I've been too sensitive lately. How could I view a student's mother as that kind of woman? I blamed myself inwardly. Then, somewhat embarrassed, got into the car. After getting in the car, I was again shocked by the interior decoration. Though the decoration was simple and not flashy, every detail exuded high quality and refinement. The exquisite items in the car were not ostentatious, but radiated elegance and taste, making me unable to look away. These small items are not cheap. Anyone could buy me several times. The car started. The engine emitted a beast-like roar. The lights on both sides of the road swept past the car window, casting mottled shadows on the car, adding a touch of mysterious color to the entire scene. In the car, Shenbai and I sat facing each other. On the table were several kinds of fruits. But at this moment I was like sitting on pins and needles. Extremely tense. After all, sitting in front was a mature and glamorous widow, with a tall slender figure and a height of 1.9 m, making my pressure double, let alone the black gang boss aura on her. This and the gentle kind image at the hospital earlier were completely two different people. If I didn't know she was Shinyuchu's parent, I would have long jumped out of the car and escaped. Shenbai noticed my slight tension, gently smiled. Her hand stroked her long hair, exuding charming aura. Teacher Su, no need to be nervous. This time I invited you just to understand my daughter's situation at school. Hearing her say this, I relaxed a little, thought for a moment and said, Mother Shen, I have some understanding of student Shinyuchu's situation. She is quite quiet and doesn't talk much, but she gets along well with a female student named Li Xia. Shenbai nodded slightly after hearing. It seems just as teacher said, but my daughter's personality wasn't always like this. Silently thinking for a while, she lightly said, actually before it wasn't like this. Teacher Su, I hope you pay more attention. Of course, caring for each student's mental health is my responsibility, but I want to ask about some things that happened to her. Shenbai smiled slightly, thinking in her heart this future. Then she began telling me about Shinyuchu's childhood. Not long after our car stopped in front of a hotel, passers-by cast curious glances. The car door opened. The moment I got out it caused no small commotion. Even a little girl excitedly shouted, Mom. I saw a fairy, followed by a burst of uproar. Some people took out phones to take pictures. Some even dissatisfiedly criticized my outfit. Just when I was embarrassed beyond endurance, Shenbai stepped down from the car. Looking at this scene, teasingly said, Teacher Su's charm is not small. I could only smile awkwardly, wishing in my heart to find a hole to crawl into. Following Shenbai into the hotel's high-end VIP room. This place was on the top floor. Elegant environment, exquisite decoration, making one sigh at the luxury. Looking at such an extravagant place, I couldn't help feeling a bit restrained. Teacher Su, my daughter is still on the way. Might arrive a bit late. Teacher, look at the menu first. Order whatever you want to eat. Shenbai handed me the menu. Taking the menu and looking at the prices above, I was immediately stunned. Damn, is this robbery? Seat fee 500 per person is fine. Emperor crab 10,000 each. Is this emperor crab inlaid with diamonds? Even more outrageous is a plate of empty water spinach 300. And that invisible art dish. Just a few broccoli with some seasoning. Yet 18,000. Robbing a bank, isn't this fast? While I was shocked speechless by the menu, Shenbai smiled. Teacher Su, order freely, no need to be polite. I looked at the menu in my hand. Couldn't help complaining inwardly. These dishes are too exaggerated. The price of one dish is enough for me to eat several meals. Flipping through the menu, Discovered the cheapest dish was over 1,000 yuan. I couldn't help frowning. At this price might as well go home and cook myself. Shenbai noticed my expression. Asked what's wrong Teacher Su. The dishes here not to your taste. I forced a smile and said to Shenbai Mother Shen. The dishes here are not that they don't suit my taste. Just that I'm not very hungry right now. In my heart thinking the price is too expensive. I really dare not order. Shenbai seemed to see my difficulty. Smiled and took back the menu saying Teacher Su. I'm hungry too. It wouldn't be good to let teacher go hungry. Waiter the usual. The waiter immediately replied yes President Shen. Hearing the usual. I thought inwardly she is a regular here. Curiously asked Mother Shen. Do you come here often? She casually replied occasionally a few times. Has teacher been here before? No, this is my first time. I quickly shook my head and replied. Shenbai smiled after hearing and asked further Teacher Su. You are so outstanding. Surely many pursuers. I gently shook my head actually not many. I always focus on teaching. Haven't thought much about relationships. Shenbai pretended to be surprised. Could it be Teacher Su is still single? I temporarily have no plans to marry. Calmly replied. Shenbai smiled and said. A handsome and self-reliant man like Teacher Su is really rare. If my daughter could find someone like teacher, I would be at ease. Hearing this made me a bit uncomfortable. So I forced a smile. Mother Shen, no need to rush. Student Shen Yuchu deserves to find a more outstanding man than me. Moreover, she is still young. Should focus on studies now. Shenbai shook her head and corrected Teacher Su. I mean Shen Yuchu's older sister. Shen Qingxue. I asked in surprise. Student Shen Yuchu has an older sister. Yes, about your age. I looked at Shenbai doubtfully. She looked at most 40. Couldn't help asking, may I ask Mother Shen how old are you this year? Shenbai smiled and replied. I am already 56. Hearing Shenbai's answer I was very surprised. Thinking inwardly no wonder rich people maintain themselves so well late at night. The noisy street was attracted by the car engine sound. A luxurious supercar stopped in front of the hotel, attracting many passers-by glances. Behind the supercar, several luxury cars also stopped one after another. A beauty stepped down. She opened the car door. A woman with extraordinary temperament stepped out. If I were there I would definitely recognize this as Shen Qingxue. Shen Qingxue walked to room 1201 door. Knocked 3 times. Shenbai heard the knock. Thinking her daughter had arrived. Said come in. The door opened. I looked up at the person entering and immediately froze. Only to see at the door stood an absolutely beautiful woman. Long black hair cascading down. Wearing a black suit. The fitted design made her even more proud. Appearance like red plum in snow yet noble. Like a fairy stepping out from a book. But her icy expression was like an iceberg. Shen Qingxue entered and saw me also froze in place. Never expected this blind date object to be me. I was also extremely embarrassed inwardly. Just rejected her this morning. Now have to dine at the same table with her. Shenbai broke the silent atmosphere. Teacher Su, what's wrong? At this moment Shen Qingxue and I both snapped out of it. Forced stiff smiles and said Mother Shen. Student Shen Yuchu's sister couldn't be her. Shenbai asked doubtfully why. Teacher Su, do you two know each other? I quickly waved no. What a joke. Even if we knew I had to say we didn't. I hurriedly denied. But Shen Qingxue's face darkened. Just drove her away this morning. So soon we don't know each other. Shenbai looked at the two and clearly felt the atmosphere was wrong. She was a bit surprised. What kind of person her daughter was. She knew like the back of her hand. These past years, Shenbai had introduced no few blind date objects to her. Though Shen Qingxue performed outstandingly in business. In emotions she could be said to be a block of wood. Previous blind date objects were all kept 1,000 miles away by her. Now actively seeking Sulak. Shenbai stood up and said to me, Teacher Su. This is my eldest daughter Shen Qingxue. Then said to Shen Qingxue, little Shui. This is your sister's homeroom. Teacher Sulak. Shen Qingxue only hummed. Then directly sat opposite me. Eyes staring at me. Until the waiter served the dishes. Only then did she shift her gaze. During the meal Shenbai and I continuously chatted. Occasionally winking to signal Shen Qingxue. But she only silently looked at me without saying much. Midway she discovered I only ate the vegetables in front of me. Then without changing expression, picked up a peeled emperor crab leg. Placed it in my bowl. I froze for a moment, said thank you and continued eating. Every time my bowl was empty, she would silently pick food for me. I also silently ate her family's food. Shenbai watched with her eyes, her heart blooming with joy, thinking I and Shen Qingxue had hope. Then pulled me to continue chatting. But she didn't tell me this was a blind date. To her, as long as Shen Qingxue was satisfied, this marriage was set. I looked at the clock, feeling it was not early. Smiled and said to Shenbai, Aunt Shen. It's late, I should go back. Shenbai, concerned for my safety, said let little Shui take you back. Though I continuously refused, she still insisted Shen Qingxue take me. Even kicked Shen Qingxue hurry and take Teacher Su back. Shen Qingxue's deep eyes looked at me, making me very uncomfortable, but still got in her car. In the car at first the two were silent. I couldn't help breaking the awkward atmosphere. President Shen. We meet again. Shen Qingxue leaned back in her seat, coldly said, quite a coincidence. Seeing the atmosphere wrong, I planned to get out, but discovered the car door wouldn't open. I promised to take you back. I am a person who keeps promises. Shen Qingxue emphasized. I don't need. Thank you. Hearing me refuse, she immediately got angry, suddenly grabbed my wrist. I said, I take you back. What are you doing? Let go. I struggled. She warned, don't move around. Move again and I'll kiss you hard. Hearing this I stared wide-eyed. You dare? Shen Qingxue smiled slightly. See if I dare. Before the words finished, she directly leaned down. The sudden kiss left me stunned. And what made me unable to resist more was, her strength was much greater than mine. This kiss was not only domineering but also powerful, fundamentally giving me no chance to breathe. Her tongue even tyrannically invaded, making me almost suffocate, until she finally released me. I was breathless, face flushed red, and she adjusted her slightly messy hair, licked her lips greedily. Those beautiful eyes flashed with indescribable triumph. So sweet. I looked at her in horror, angry to the extreme. Immediately used my hand to wipe my mouth hard, eyes full of disgust. Shen Qingxue, is there something wrong with your brain? Why attack a good man? Seeing my intense reaction, she coldly snorted, remember Sulak, you are my person. Don't have intentions toward other women. Got it. I was so angry I wanted to laugh. Looking at her unquestionable expression, a wave of fury in my heart, directly retorted, Shen Qingxue, I'll return this sentence to you verbatim. Who I am with is my freedom. You have no right to interfere with me. That's your intention. And my intention is you are my person. Can only be my person. She provocatively glanced at me. At that moment I was angry enough to explode on the spot. The woman in front was not only thick-skinned, but also a bit crazy. I am clearly an upright man, yet tangled by her. Really unlucky to the extreme. Really don't understand those domineering presidents in novels. Are they all as strange as her? Seeing me angry enough to jump, she instead smiled even happier. With a bit of teasing looked at me, finally touched the steering wheel. All right, won't tease you anymore. Take you home. On the way she rarely kept silent. Seriously drove. I sulked and turned my head to the window, pretending to admire the scenery. The whole journey cold as ice. The pressure in the car suffocating. The two had no exchange. Luckily finally the car stopped under my apartment building. I was overjoyed. Finally escaped her clutches. I directly pushed open the car door hard and got out. At the same time angrily left a sentence. Today's matter ends here. From now on we owe each other nothing. Finished speaking I didn't look back and walked into the apartment, in my heart praying, never be tangled by this woman again in this life. But Shen Qingxue sitting in the car, looking at my disappearing figure, the corners of her mouth slowly curved into an unpredictable arc, whispered, this man I have set my sights on. She gently used her finger to stroke her lips, as if still savoring the sweetness just now. Back home my mood was extremely bad, also lazy to think much. Casually washed my face then collapsed on the bed. Originally planned to sleep soundly, but no matter what I couldn't fall asleep. In my mind involuntarily appeared the absurd scene just now. That domineering and tyrannical kiss made me angry to madness. My hand directly clenched and punched the pillow several times. Angry enough to shout, women are too shameless. Even if angry there's nothing I can do to Shen Qingxue. Can't beat her in a fight, scolding does no good, I sighed. No spirit to provoke her, that's fine. At worst avoid her in the future. This kind of person can't touch, can't provoke, can't avoid. Thinking back and forth I finally fell asleep. Unexpectedly. In the middle of the night, tormented miserably by a nightmare. In the dream Shen Qingxue's voice with shrill laughter pierced my ears painfully. She said I am hers. Can't run and must hold me tight, not letting go. I wanted to run but couldn't move a step. As if locked in place by something. Finally even squeezed until breathing was difficult. Help, I panicked and shouted in the dream. Desperately waved my hands. I clearly knew it was a dream, but still suppressed until about to collapse. At the last second I suddenly woke up, face full of cold sweat, breathing chaotic, looking at the ceiling. I swear this kind of person absolutely cannot provoke in the future. Closed my eyes again. I could still hear the chilling laughter from the dream making my heart race, echoing in my ears. Last night's dream was too real, that feeling like an invisible net, tightly wrapping me, making me unable to breathe. I suddenly sat up in bed, rubbed my temples, fiercely cursed, damn. This woman is a comet. Since meeting Shen Qingxue, I discovered my life has not a moment of peace, as if poisoned. Every time I encounter her only bad luck, really unlucky enough. I sighed, turned my head to glance at the phone by the pillow. Discovered it was already past 9 in the morning. I picked up the phone and opened the chat app. Only then discovered Wang Great Strength sent a pile of messages yesterday. I opened the chat. Saw several consecutive messages. 7:50 p.m. Brother Lack, are you home? Free tomorrow. Let's go shopping for some clothes. 8:23 p.m. Brother Lack, what are you doing? Why no reply? 8:57 p.m. one missed call. Then several more missed calls. 7 or 8 all. Wong great strength calling. I frowned. Yesterday the hospital called urging payment. I hurriedly ran to the hospital to visit mom. To not worry mom. I had switched the phone to airplane mode. Later because of Shinqingshua matter. Completely forgot to restore. Thinking of this chain of events. Immediately felt exhausted. Now the most important is to quickly gather enough medical fees. Otherwise mom's treatment fundamentally can't continue. But the reality is, my economic situation has been drained almost empty. Temporarily can only rely on live streaming to solve the immediate. In my heart had a preliminary idea. I replied to Wong Great Strength's message. Typed a few words and sent brotherly. Sorry. Yesterday had some matters didn't check phone. Today let's talk again. After sending. I saw the other side hadn't replied. Thinking probably not up yet. Didn't think much. Directly opened the Quick Hand live streaming app on the phone. Quick Hand live streaming is a super live streaming platform in this world. In the live streaming industry considered dominant. Not only good benefits. Very friendly to newcomers. My specialty has always been game live streaming. However this field women dominate. Male game streamers are indeed relatively rare. If grasp the direction well, perhaps can open a path. But I clearly know in my heart. Whether live streaming succeeds the key is all in traffic. With traffic there is popularity. With popularity can make money. This is the same in any world. Iron law. To quickly grasp the doorway. I first registered a live streaming account. Named Wukong Explores the Matriarchal World Continue Training. Simple and memorable. After registering, I decided to first check the beauty zone situation. Current top trends even if not game streaming. Must rub some popularity. The moment I opened the beauty zone, the next second couldn't help screaming miserably. My eyes. I hurriedly raised my hand to cover my face. Almost dared not look at the screen anymore. Perhaps the image still deeply pierced my mind. A fair-skinned beautiful male streamer, wearing a tight black leather outfit. Slender figure dancing between iron poles. Actually pole dancing. The dance extremely seductive. Soft to the point I wanted to call the police. Movements even more exaggerated than the female streamers I saw on Earth. One could see. This male streamer completely broke all my cognition of the beauty zone. Not only that. The bullet comments below the screen flew fast. All large-scale content shocking. What surprised me more was, though this performance made me stare wide-eyed, even a bit disgusted, but the gift effects sweeping the screen countless. All kinds of rockets, airplanes gifts, making the screen like a light show. I frowned and clicked out of the room, feeling liberated like crawling out of mud. In less than 2 minutes, I felt my 3 views completely refreshed, just relying on beauty and seductive movements, yet earning so much. This made me sigh. The world has changed greatly, not only refreshed my cognition, but thoroughly revealed this world, how high the lust level of women is, worthy of the pinnacle phenomenon of the new era in live streaming. Watched a few rooms. I couldn't help shaking my head, sighing at this world's aesthetic trends. Truly strange enough, this made me adjust my plan again. Finally decided to temporarily abandon the beauty zone. Still game field development more reliable. I didn't say more. Decisively directly opened Quick Hand live streaming. Applied for my own streaming rights. When filling related information, I seriously thought. Live streaming content mainly choose games. At the same time changed nickname to AU Talks Comics. After finishing these I paused fiddling. Picked up the phone and looked. Saw on the screen popped up. A message brotherly looking for me again. I opened it. Sure enough. Message from Zhao Fenglong brother Lack. This morning saw you didn't reply. I say are you free today? Let's go shopping together. I stared at the screen, hesitated a moment. Indeed yesterday busy, forgot about him. Thinking the streaming application just submitted temporarily. Still need platform approval. Anyway now nothing to do. Going with this kid is fine. So I replied one word okay. Meet where? Not long after Wong Great Strength sent a location. Also attached a sentence. Just meet at the Commercial Street coffee shop. I'll wait for you there. I opened the map to see the coordinates. Sure enough a coffee shop. Then tidied up and called a car to go. Before going out I still hesitated a bit. Should I ugly disguise to cover my face? Always feel with my beauty. Wherever I go stared at. But thinking again. Whether so hot disguising isn't that self-torment. Moreover now laws sound. In broad daylight. What big thing could happen? Plain face appearance. On the way. Still inevitably stared at by sisters on the road until creeped out. Those eyes. Naked with unconcealed appreciation. Sticking to my body. As if afraid not seeing enough. I endured the impulse to roll my eyes. Could only try to appear calm. Can't because stared a few times, want to hide in a hole. At the coffee shop door. I glanced and saw Wong Great Strength waving in the crowd. Today he wore casual long pants with white t-shirt. Hand holding a brown bag. His 1.80 m plus height. Plus solid muscle lines. From afar had a strong presence. Full of visual impact. I walked over from afar, couldn't help complaining. Great strength, today you dressed like this. Again makes me feel my eyes violated. Wong, great strength, hearing only raised an eyebrow. Completely unconcerned. Brother, like you speak too truthfully. Every time we meet you hurt me. Not hurting, not happy. This is my love whip for you. I rolled my eyes while complaining. Naturally walked over. Result, just stood firm. This kid directly slung his arm over me. I froze. Reflexively pulled back. I say, can you not do this? Said so many times. Man, then be a bit manly. Don't act like a girl all day. Wong, great strength, shrunk his neck and coquettishly. But I am originally male. I held my forehead helplessly. Anyway, should have some awareness to keep distance from me. But seeing his unconcerned face, I was also lazy to continue nitpicking. Nitpicking this with him. Only torment myself more. Wong, great strength, he smiled. Again reached out to lightly pull my sleeve corner. Brother Lack, let's go. Weather so hot. Let's go in the coffee shop, drink something cool. I helplessly was pulled by him into the shop. The coffee shop bright with warm atmosphere. Soft lights sprinkled in every corner. Wood decoration with a natural feel, paired with just right air conditioning, making one immediately escape the outside heat. I was thinking today first order a cold drink to cool down. Result, around came whispering sounds. I followed the feeling and looked over. Discovered everyone in the coffee shop. Eyes all focused on me. I knew it would be like this again. I sighed inwardly, helplessly thinking. Seems Shinqingshua trouble just left. Changed to another group staring. Can my life be peaceful a bit? With Wong, great strength, found a quiet corner to sit. Around were people bowing heads, typing on computers, working. Don't know if my handsome face too dazzling. Occasionally female students sneak glances this way. Brother Lack, I want to ask you something. Wong, great strength, lowered his voice. Mysteriously leaned close to me. Do you have someone you like? I froze a moment, then shook my head. Really no. Impossible, could it be you? Wong, great strength, face full of shock, observed me up and down. Could it be Bent? God, I almost laughed by him. If Bent would have long gone to harm fresh meat. Still your turn to worry, nonsense here. Then the campus bell, you didn't even look more. Not scientific at all. Wong, great strength, still face full of doubt. I helplessly waved hand. Fine, talk seriously. Lately what are you busy with? Am awesome. Wong, great strength, immediately excited. Took out phone to show me. Look, I'm a broadcaster on quick hand. Just 3 months, over 600,000 fans. Beauty broadcaster. I looked at his face, indeed not bad. Couldn't help teasing Ali. Being broadcaster is fine. But don't take the meat selling path. Go on, great strength, almost jumped. I sing properly, okay? Right, you just said also want to do live streaming. I showed him my account on phone. Plan to do game broadcaster. However, I don't plan to show face. Why? I don't want later going out recognized. Some privacy is good. The two chatted a while more, then together went shopping for clothes. Who knew? Just arrived at Commercial Street. A low luxurious Maserati. Stopped by the road. Shinqingshua stepped down from the car. Originally planned to inspect the land development site. This land is in the Commercial Street. She already in her mind drew a luxury shopping center design, paired with a few office buildings. Wait for small merchants to move in. Profit absolutely far exceed development cost. Wait for small merchants to move in. Profit absolutely far exceed development cost. But she had just walked a few steps. Already saw a familiar back Sulak. Shinqingshua narrowed her eyes, corners of mouth slightly curved. Quite a coincidence, Hess said, then followed. At this time I was in a clothing store, facing countless clothes, dazzled. Still couldn't decide. Wong, great strength, was extremely excited. Eyes darting between the clothes. Like a country bumpkin never seen the world. Brother Lack, look at this set, how? This dress, how? And this one, I patiently commented on a few. Finally, Wong, great strength, hugged a pile of clothes to pay. And I empty-handed. Brother Lack, why you buy nothing? Wong, great strength, face full of doubt. I smiled perfunctorily. Clothes enough to wear. Don't want to waste money. Actually yesterday just paid medical fees. In pocket only, eating money left. Clothes here cheapest, also a few hundred. I don't want for one outfit. This whole month eat instant noodles every day. Wong, great strength, seemed to notice something. Pulled me, said, today I treat. Don't be polite with me. I also inconvenient to refuse. Then followed him to South Apparel area. But walked around, still didn't like any. Planning to go look at shoes. Carelessly bumped into someone, looked up. Turned out to be Shinqingshua. Today she wore a white one-piece short dress, highlighting her lithe figure. Cleavage faintly visible. Wearing pointed high heels, long hair cascading. Elegant mixed with some coldness. I froze a moment, then immediately wanted to avoid her. Shinqingshua seemed thoughtful, followed behind me. Finally I spotted a pair of sports shoes. Tried and quite fit. But hearing the price, frowned. 1,200. Though Wong, great strength, treating. But too expensive. I was planning to quietly slip away. Wong, great strength, blocked me. Brother Lack, this little money, what? Fine you, I softly muttered. With this money better treat me to a good meal. You have enough shoes? Wong, great strength, momentarily speechless. At this time Shen Qingxue suddenly appeared at the cashier, without a word paid. Take it, she stuffed the shoebox into my hand. I stunned hurriedly refused. How can this be? Things I give out never take back. Shen Qingxue insisted, said here. Truly the legendary domineering president. I inwardly sighed. Already couldn't refuse. Cleanly no more pretense. Happily accepted. Instead Wang great strength beside watched stunned. As my only best friend he clearly. Usually expensive gifts from rich Mrs. Campus Belle stars gave. I all without thinking refused. But today, broke the rule, accepted a woman's gift. Shen Qingxue seemed to notice Wang great strength's surprise. Corners of mouth slightly curved. Bloomed a spring breeze smile. This smile nothing. Only made Wang great strength watch even more stunned. Brother Lack this is. Wang great strength leaned to my ear softly asked. Ordinary friend. I casually replied. Oh good friend huh? Wang great strength face I understand all. My face darkened. Don't think nonsense just then. Shen Qingxue suddenly spoke. Little Lack. Wang great strength almost jumped. Little Lack must know. If he dared call me that definitely get beaten. But this woman not only called intimately. I had no reaction. Shen Qingxue clearly intentional. She thought if Wang great strength sensible, naturally would find excuse to leave, if not sensible. In her eyes flashed dangerous light. I also lazy to explain the address. Directly introduced this. Is my brother Wang great strength. Yes Iron Brothers. Wang great strength hid behind me. Always felt this woman scary, don't know why. Dinner together tonight, Shen Qingxue directly said. No, tomorrow still have class. I remembered that day's matter. Now only wanted to stay far from her. This person killed in front of me. But 2 days past no news. Too eerie. You wouldn't be avoiding me, right? Shen Qingxue eyes full of certainty. How possible just tonight already have appointment with friend? I casually found excuse. Wrong Brother Lack. You only have me as friend. Also didn't appoint me. Wang great strength face full of confusion. I full head black lines. This idiot really no I. But Shen Qingxue hearing this. Eyes lit up. Even smiled. That smile of Shen Qingxue made me shiver. Vaguely familiar. But couldn't remember where seen you smile. What? I warily asked her. Nothing, just feel your brother quite cute. Shen Qingxue retracted smile. Suddenly leaned close to my ear, whispered. Little Lack. Tonight really not coming. While I stunned, she eyed behind. Jiang Shui understood. Silently walked to Wang great strength. Made inviting gesture, then signaled him to follow. Wang great strength originally wanted to speak to me, but saw us talking happily, so didn't disturb. Followed Jiang Shui out. If I knew what this idiot thought, definitely beat him into slime. But who could see we were talking happily? Outside the store, Jiang Shui in white suit, elegantly pushed gold-rimmed glasses. Mr. Wang, hello. I am President Shen's secretary. Called you out to not disturb the two of them. After all, first love. I understand. Wang great strength slapped thigh. Immediately enlightened. Then let me treat you to a meal. Don't refuse this, not good, rest assured. Just ordinary meal. You still afraid I eat you? Wang great strength continuously shook head. Finally still followed Jiang Shui. In the store, Shen Qingxue continued the topic. Tonight Madu Hotel. Don't let me wait long. President Shen, we are not familiar. Please respect. I stepped back 2 steps. Don't bother me anymore. Otherwise I call police. This is the first time someone dared threaten me. Shen Qingxue coldly laughed. I turned, wanting to call Wang great strength. Only discovered person gone. Shen Qingxue, what exactly do you want? Want you to be my boyfriend, what else? She shrugged. Face full of innocence. I took phone, angry enough to break, typed 110. Hurry, hand over the person, otherwise you done. Nice phone. Bought where? Shen Qingxue looked at my phone, not panicked at all. Less nonsense. Not hand over, I report. Police say you kidnapped, just report. Anyway, I did nothing. Also never been to station. Shen Qingxue faced death, not afraid. Boiling water. I could only admit defeat, fine. Tonight I come. But if he has something I won't forgive you. I really wanted to report police. But afraid she desperate. Drag out the matter, I knew but didn't report. Really curiosity kills the cat. Planning to leave. Phone suddenly rang. A strange number. I without word answered hello. That side, may I ask, is this Mr. Sulak? This is Tian High Hospital. The other end came unfamiliar male voice. My heart thumped. Immediately thought of Zhou Qing last night. What happened? What is it? The fees you paid before are insufficient. Please come to the hospital. Wrong, a few days ago I just paid over 20,000. How so fast, Mr. Su? Your previous hospital stay. Always starting at 300,000. Just ICU one day over 10,000. Truthfully. Before all, had Zhou helped you apply subsidy? The other side wanted to say but stopped, but meaning clearer than clear. I bitterly smiled, deep breath. Can extend a few days. I really can't gather now. Hung up, I turned to say to Shen Qingxue, sorry. Tonight probably can't come. Go where hospital, urging fees. I must run over now. I turned, planning to go, I take you. Shen Qingxue quick step chased, blocked me. I shook head, no need. I take taxi, fine. Shenqingxue suddenly gripped my wrist tight. You hate me that much? Her strength growing. I struggled several times, couldn't escape. Only compromise no, then get in. Whole way silent. Only engine roaring sound. Shenqingxue sneaked glances at my side profile. In heart thinking, you completely different from men she met. They though also beautiful, but always wore fake mask. And you make her unable to help, want to approach. Even want to possess. Make her own this feeling very strange. Even she herself couldn't explain. Arrived at hospital. I hurriedly ran straight to counter. Hello sister, I am family of room 605. Please check how much more to pay. Nurse stunned by my beauty. Only then started checking. Half minute later handed me a bill. I looked one glance, whole person froze. 360000, how so much? My heart tightened. This number enough to sell me. Before all had Joe helped you advance. So was less. Nurse explained. Turned out previous medicine fees all Zhou Qing paid. I like struck by lightning. Nurse nodded. Said I could go to VIP ward. Find head Zhou. I without word went straight to ward. Completely ignoring Shenqingxue standing aside. Making her face darken. Clenched fists in the dark. ICU is high-end ward. Has separate restroom and bathroom. Even professional massage chair. I arrived beside the bed. Looking at mom in coma, no sour. Though I am transmigrator. But original owner's memories. Made me full of responsibility for this family. Mom, I'm here, I softly called. Person on bed, no reaction. At this time a nurse came and led me to office. I just sat on sofa not long. Zhou Qing pushed door, entered. Mr. Su looking for me. He coldly smiled, asked. Head Zhou, I think you know clearer than me. I calmly said. Humph, of course. Zhou Qing sneered. Eyes became sinister. Little Lacka, you know what I want. These years. How little I paid for your mom. You know in heart. Without Zhou Qing help. Mom perhaps long gone. But I also know his dirty intentions toward me. Just original owner soft personality. Always played dumb. Head Zhou. I know owe you much. But hope from now no more connection. Extend a few days. Money owed I definitely pay clean. I tactfully said. Why no connection? Zhou Qing excited shouted. These years feelings, how can you say so? I silent no speak. Dared not stimulate him more. Otherwise who knows what he would do. Seeing me not speak. Zhou Qing deep breath. Eyes became dangerous. Sulak. Don't force me, I stood up. Voice calm said to Zhou Qing. Head Zhou, hope can extend a few days. I will pay clean owed money at once. Just reached door. Suddenly grabbed by Zhou Qing arm. Sulak, stop. His voice crazy made me unprepared. Zhou Qing completely lost reason. Face twisted terrifying. He suddenly pounced wanting to push me down. Just then, a cold figure flashed. Zhou Qing whole body flung hard. Fell heavily to ground. The arriver none other. Precisely Shenqingxue. Her eyes cold as ice swept Zhou Qing. In eyes not a bit warmth. What do you want to do? Zhou Qing trembled. Instinctively retreated. Shenqingxue slowly squatted down. Eyes like knives. I want to kill you. Words not finished. She already kicked Zhou Qing rolling on ground. I hurriedly stepped forward, wanted to pull Shenqingxue. But was flung away by her. Shenqingxue choked Zhou Qing's neck. In eyes flashed killing intent. Zhou Qing desperately struggled but useless. One punch hit Zhou Qing's stomach hard. Pain making the other scream. Enough, I worried shouted. Shenqingxue suddenly tugged my collar. Sulak, you truly calamity water. Next second she powerfully kissed me. I struggled useless, face pale. I was pinned against the wall by her, our lips and tongues entangled, leaving me no room to breathe. My whole body stiffened like a log. Only when she finally let go did I cough violently, face flushed red from lack of oxygen. Shenqingxue licked her lips, her eyes still burning with unsatisfied desire. Sulak, this time I saved you. What are you going to repay me with? Before I could open my mouth, Zhou Qing on the floor groaned and tried to crawl up. Shenqingxue coldly kicked him once more in the stomach. The pain curled him into a shrimp. Don't ever let me see your face here again. Otherwise I'm not sure where I'll stop. Zhou Qing frantically nodded, scrambling out like a dog whose owner had died. The door closed. Only the two of us remained in the room. I took 2 steps back, staring at her warily. Shenqingxue, today I owe you a favor. But don't think I'll sell my body to repay it. She chuckled softly and stepped closer. I never wanted you to sell your body. I only want you to belong to me willingly. My whole body froze, heart pounding wildly. Keep dreaming. I ground out through clenched teeth. Shenqingxue didn't get angry, she merely brushed my hair gently. Sulak, the more you resist the more I like you. I'll give you time. But not much. With that she turned and left, leaving me standing there like a statue. I collapsed into a chair, my mind in chaos. 360,000, where am I supposed to get 360,000? Mom is still lying in the ICU. And am almost out of money even for this month's meals. I picked up my phone and reopened Quick Hand. The account was still under review. I gritted my teeth and changed the channel name to AU Plays Games without showing face. Then selected the hottest game right now, Honor of Queens Matriarchal Edition. I knew I had no other choice. I had to make money fast. That very night I started my first live stream. Mic on, face hidden. My voice has always been clear with a hint of cool detachment. The moment I went live, over 100 viewers poured in. Bullet comments flew across the screen. That voice, I can do this. Husband, I'm here. No face needed, this voice alone is enough for me to spend money. I was slightly stunned but stayed focused on the game. One ranked match I hit national top server carrying the whole team. Gifts started raining down. In a single night I earned nearly 8,000. Even after the platform took 50%, I still had 4,000 left. Staring at the number in my account for the first time, I felt a glimmer of hope. From that day on I practically lived on live stream. Sleeping no more than 4 hours a day. Fans skyrocketed from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands. I became Quick Hand's hottest faceless voice god. But what I never expected, among my daily viewers, was an account named TSTY_Queen that always sat at the very top of the gift leaderboard. Every time I went live she immediately threw dozens of super rockets. One super rocket equals 2,000 yuan. She tossed them like money grew on trees. I stared at the username, my heart turning cold. Shenqing Shui. She was using her real name to chase me online. I tried to ignore it, but the fans' bullet comments frantically tagged her. Queen Mama is here to toast her husband again. This is the official wife. I stayed silent and just kept playing. Yet every time the line TSTY_Queen gifted 100 super rockets appeared, a chill ran down my spine. She was smashing money straight into my face. Smashing until I could no longer pretend I didn't see. On the 15th day of streaming, I had just finished a match and was about to end the stream. TSTY_Queen suddenly sent a private message. Little Lack, tonight 8 p.m. Madu Grand Hotel Presidential Suite. Don't come in tomorrow, I'll throw 1,000 rockets so the whole world knows you're AU. I stared at those words, my hands trembling. She was threatening me. But I had no way out. I was still short more than 200,000 of the 360,000. I clenched my teeth and typed, fine, I'll be there. 8 o'clock that night I stood in front of the presidential suite at Madu Grand Hotel. The door opened. Shenqing Shui stood there in a black bathrobe, hair dripping wet. Clearly just out of the shower. She looked at me, the corners of her mouth curving upward. Little Lack, you finally came. I took a deep breath. Shenqing Shui, just say directly what you want. She pulled me inside and closed the door. I want you. She said simply without beating around the bush. I laughed coldly. You want to keep me? Fine, name your price. Shenqing Shui didn't get angry, she gently lifted my chin. I'm not keeping you. I want you to be willing. I'll give you 500,000, enough for your mother to stay in the ICU for life. All you have to do is stay with me for 1 year. Hearing that, my whole body turned ice cold. She was forcing me to sell myself. But I had no right to refuse. My mother couldn't wait. I closed my eyes, my voice hoarse. Fine, I agree. Shenqing Shui smiled, her eyes curving into crescent moons. Little Lack, good boy. From that night on I became Shenqing Su's secret lover. She gave me a luxury apartment near the school. Every Friday and Sunday night I had to go to her villa. She was domineering, powerful, but also incredibly gentle. Once I streamed until 4 in the morning and passed out from exhaustion. When I woke up I was already in her arms. She held me and softly kissed my forehead. Sulak, don't push yourself so hard. I have plenty of money. Hearing that, my eyes stung. I didn't want to owe her any more. Yet I found myself even less able to leave her. In the 3rd month of our contract, I had finally saved enough to pay off all the hospital bills. My mother was moved out of the ICU. I thought I could leave, but when I said I wanted to end it, Shenqing Shui only asked one question. Do you really want to go? I fell silent. She gave a bitter smile. Sulak, I'd rather you hate me than watch you leave me. It was the first time I saw her look so fragile. I realized I had long stopped hating her. In fact, I was even a little reluctant to part. I didn't leave. I stayed. Not for the money, but because I discovered I had already fallen in love with this crazy domineering woman. From the day I chose to stay of my own will, Shenqing Shui became a completely different person. She was still domineering, but now in the I want to spoil you rotten way. Every morning when I woke up, breakfast she made herself was already on the table. When I came home at night, the bathtub was filled with hot water and my pajamas were laid out. She even learned to fold the blanket into a heart shape. I laughed at the sight yet felt warmth in my heart. Some nights when I streamed late she would quietly sit beside me without a word. The moment I ended the stream she would carry me to bed. Sulak, you've lost weight. Eat more or my heart will ache. I pretended to push her away in disgust. President Shen, if you keep pampering me like this I'll become spoiled. She smiled until her eyes disappeared. If you become spoiled I'll just keep spoiling you. I was helpless against her. Yet day by day I grew more dependent. Once the school organized a 2-day camping trip. I had to accompany the students. Before leaving, Shenqing Shui stuffed my backpack with everything. From mosquito repellent to imported chocolate. And even one of her own thin jackets. The first night at camp it suddenly poured. I caught a cold and ran a high fever. At 3 in the morning, dizzy with fever, I called her. 10 minutes later a helicopter landed in the camp field. Shenqing Xue wearing a raincoat rushed into the tent and carried me out. The entire school was stunned. I lay in her arms face burning. She wiped my sweat while scolding. "Sulak, if you dare not take care of yourself again, I'll lock you at home and never let you out." I smiled weakly. "Fine, lock me up then." After that the whole school knew I had a super domineering girlfriend. Shen Yuchu even ran to my classroom, eyes sparkling. "Teacher Su, my sister, said she wants to meet the parents at the end of the month. Please go with her." I nearly spat water. Shenqing Xue was actually pulling this move. On parent-teacher day she wore a black suit and sunglasses, aura overwhelming. Other parents trembled at the sight. Yet she sat upright holding my hand under the table. The homeroom teacher praised me endlessly. Shenqing Xue listened until her ears turned red from smiling. Back home she pinned me on the sofa. "Sulak, today I was so proud of you." Before I could react I was kissed until I couldn't breathe. My mother gradually recovered. The day she woke up I held her hand, tears streaming down my face. Shenqing Xue stood outside the door quietly wiping her own tears. That night she knelt on one knee beside the hospital bed. Holding a ring box she looked up at me. "Sulak, will you marry me?" I was stunned. My mother beside me smiled kindly. "My son, say yes, mom likes this girl." My eyes red, I nodded. "Yes." Shenqing Xue slipped the ring onto my finger and kissed the back of my hand. "Sulak, for the rest of this life you can only be mine." I smiled back. "I only ever wanted to be yours anyway." On our wedding day the sky was clear without a single cloud. I wore a white suit, she wore a black wedding dress. She said she wanted to be the groom and let me be the bride. I laughed until my stomach hurt but still obediently let her lead me down the aisle. When the priest asked, "Do you take this person?" she shouted loudly, "I do." I answered softly, "I do too." The entire hall erupted in thunderous applause. On our wedding night she carried me into the flower-filled room. "Sulak, tonight you're not escaping." I blushed and wrapped my arms around her neck. I never planned to escape. After that the flower room shook all night long. 1 year later I gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. The older one looks like me, the younger one looks like her. Shenqing Xue held our children smiling until her eyes became crescent moons. "Sulak, thank you for giving me the whole world." I leaned on her shoulder and whispered, "Thank you for forcing me to love you." She kissed my forehead. It wasn't force. It was fate. The entire story from the day I transmigrated into this matriarchal world. Being chased, forcibly kissed, threatened, kept by her. Until finally willingly marrying her. I never imagined I could be this happy. Shenqing Xue, the most domineering woman I've ever met, is also the one who loves me the deepest. And I, Sulak, have completely and forever belonged to her.